Okay, next problem, next assignment, I should say, next standard, ratios and proportions. Solve for the variable. Okay, so we're going to multiply negative 3 times 3 is negative 9, divide by 2, it's negative 4.5. Okay, this problem isn't as easy. You got to use the A, the B, the C, and the D. So I know that A times B is going to equal C times D. So A is 2x plus 1, and then B is 4. On the other side, C is 5 times x plus 2. Okay, equals, drop it. Cover your variables so you don't have any minus signs, so you go ahead and distribute that. So 2x times 4 is 8x, 1 times 4 is 4, 5 times 1x is 5x, 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, I've got two different x's, they're on opposite sides, so let's pick the 5, go ahead and get rid of him. So that's going to be 3x plus 4 equals 10. Minus 4, so I have 3 times x, and that's 6, so I divide by 3, and x equals 2. Okay, what's 25% of 144? Use your percent proportion with the is and the of, so percent, 100%, it's 25, then is and of. After of, it says 144. It's going to be x. So I'm going to multiply 144 times 25 divided by 100. That's 36. 80% of what number is 20? So I put 100% and then 80%. Then is and of. After of, it says what, so it's going to be x, and then is 20. So 20 times 100, divide that by 80, gives me 25. What percent of 36 is 96? So I have 100%. I don't have any percents here, so x percent, then I've got is and of. So after of, it says 36 is 96. So 96 times 100, divide that by 36, 267. Round it to the nearest whole number on the percent, if that's a percent, about 267%. Makes sense. If you get 96 out of 36 on a test, it's well over 100%. Okay, find the length of side x. The two triangles are similar, so we're going to use ratios. I know that 10 goes with 8, and then 14 goes with x. So I take 8 times 14, and then divide that answer by 10, gives me 11.2. Okay, convert 4 meters to feet. 1 meter equals 3.28 feet. So 1 meter, 3.28 feet. Then you got meters and feet. 4 meters, it's 4, that's x. 4 times 3.28 divided by 1 is 13.12. Okay, next one, number 9. Student can read 7 pages of a book in 10 minutes. How many pages of the book can the student read in 30 minutes? So I'm finding the pages. So I've got pages and minutes. It's x, it's y. Pages per minute. Now, if I really wanted to, I could figure that out. I could take 7 divided by 10, okay? but it's really just a waste of time because that line is a bunch of nonsense because it's DV, direct variation. Don't draw this, just watch. If I don't read for any minutes, because that's X is minutes, you're not going to read any pages. So we can get past the line. We're going to use ratios, it's the way to go. So minutes, pages, so 7 pages in 10 minutes. And I have 30 minutes, and I don't know the pages, that's X. So I'm going to take 7 times 30 divided by 10 gives me 21. So 21 pages. Number 10, Chad and Jack are painting a house. Chad can paint one house in 6 hours. Jack can paint one house in 5 hours. If these guys want to paint 2 houses for the day, how many hours is it going to take? So that's my answer to the problem. Hours and houses. That's X and that's Y. So per houses per hour. You should be getting to the point you know how to set that up. Houses per hour, I know we did 1 in 6 hours, but that's not per hour. Per hour means in just one single hour. One house in 5 hours, okay, I don't have that. And since it's direct variation, you can skip that foolishness with the line because at 0 hours, because that's X is hours. If we don't work for any hours, we're not going to get any houses painted. It's ratios. Hours, houses, and houses. Okay, so the first guy can do 1 house in 6 hours. It's important to get your time in the denominator, but he gets help. His help can do 1 in 5. Okay, they want to paint 2 houses in X hours. So 1/6 plus 1/5 gives me 11 over 30. So it can do 11 houses in 30 hours. And then they want to really get 2 done. I'll find out how long that takes. So 30 times 2 divided by 11 is going to be 5.4. Round to the nearest tenth to go to 5.5. Okay, next, some percents. Town's population has increased by 5%, means it's gone up. It started at 100% of the people, went up by 5%. By then its population was 12,500 people. That's after it increased by 5%, clearly says that. The people in town before the increase. So we got 100%, but with this word circled, that's an increase in a percent. It's not a percent of a total. 100%, and then if I increase it by 5, that takes me to 105%. Now, the 12,500 people is after the increase, so after means it goes with the 105. So 12,500. So I'm going to put 105%, and since that's on top, 12,500 is going to be on the same side with X in the denominator. So 12,500 times 100 divided by 105, 11,905. Okay, number 12, I spent 20% of my paycheck on groceries. If I make $3,000 in a month, how much will I spend on groceries? Okay, now I don't have a word that indicates that the percent's going up or down, so I'm going to use the 20%. And it says groceries, so that's for groceries, and that's your total. Groceries. Total. Okay, so I make $3,000 in a month, but that's not on groceries, so that's your total. X goes here. So I take 3,000 times 20, divide that by 100. That's going to be 600. $600. Okay. 13. 1/5 the clowns in the circus had red noses. If 40 clowns had red noses, how many clowns are there? Okay, it's a fraction. So 1/5. Now what's special about the 1? It had red noses. So 1 out of 5 had red noses, and 5's a total. So red and total. 40 had red noses, so 40 goes here, x goes here. So 40 times 5 divided by 1 is 200. Two cars travel for the same amount of time. One car averages 70 miles per hour, the other car averages 60 miles per hour. Faster car travels 100 miles for 40 miles further. How many miles did the other car travel? Okay, miles. So we got miles, and there's two answers we need to put. Miles and hours. Assign x to him, y to him. Miles per hour. By the way, this is a dV. I forgot to put it. dV stands for direct variation. It means both your units begin at 0. The x always begins at 0, but on these problems, the y also begins at 0. So miles per hour is 70 and 60. And again, just to prove why that's a dV. Don't need to write this, just watch. I've said x is hours. I said y is miles. X is hours. Y is miles. Look, if I don't drive for any hours, I'm not going to get any miles. By the way, 140 is not a beginning amount. That's idiotic to put that at the beginning. You do that, you're going to fail. Simple as that. Okay. Okay, so we've got ratios, but using the 2 units, I need to have some of each, so that's not going to work. Now the times are the same, so that means if I take the distance for that car divided by the speed for that car, that's going to equal the distance of that car divided by the speed of that car. Okay, the speeds are 70 and 60. The distances are unknown. You don't just put 140, okay? It's 140 further. Nobody traveled actually 140 miles. So x, but this did go 140 further, so plus 140. Multiply and divide ain't going to work, so that's A, that's B, that's C, that's D. Okay, so A times B, you're going to get x plus 140 times 60. The other side, you're going to get x times 70. 1, 1. Okay, I can't add those, so we're going to multiply that. And over here, we multiply just that. So 1x times 70 is 70x. There's no adding going on that side like there is here. So 60 times 1x is 60x. 60 multiplied by 140 is going to be 8,400. Okay, they're on opposite sides, so we need to eliminate the one of them. So that's 10 times x, that's 8,400, and I can divide by 10. 8,400 divided by 10 is 840 miles. Okay, now if I add 140 onto that, that's going to be 980.